What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Will Johnson, and this is the Culture Wars. Let's get it. Right now. Let's go. I'm trying.
I believe that we do need to defund the police.
I actually believe in court reform, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
In Supreme Court reform. Every president should get 3 appointments. You can either use your appointment to give somebody who's on the court a second 10-year term and limit everybody's terms to 10 years, or you can include somebody else. Would that expand the court? Sure. But there's nothing in the Constitution that says that there have to be 9 justices.
And like the things that I actually look at on Instagram, right? Of course, we get served that on your For You page. But then like every third video that scrolls on its own is going to be some OnlyFans model. I think the foundational issue here is we need to start taxing billionaire wealth, right? And when you tax billionaire wealth, you disincentivize the accumulation of wealth. If you cannot stand for trans rights, do not be surprised when they come for your rights. I look forward to pushing forward legislation that would preempt localities from participating with ICE. We've also got to make sure that in this state, we are not discriminating by documentation status. Right now, if you're undocumented, you don't get access to a driver's license, so you're stuck. You don't get access to a lot of the basic things the state offers everybody else. And I think that's ridiculous. And so we've got to stop discriminating that way. There is no reforming. There is no retraining. There is only abolishing ICE. Fuck ICE. That you can't reform ICE. You can't retrain ICE. You have to abolish ICE. It was a bad experiment. It's been weaponized to do the worst things. And I think we need to abolish it and start from scratch. I think he should be impeached. I do not think he should be president of the United States. I think he has done impeachable things. Obviously, as a future senator, I'm not in a position to impeach. But when they make the case about the impeachable things I have seen with my own eyes, I will vote accordingly.
So do you think that the Israeli government should be considered by the U.S. as a foreign terrorist organization?
It's certainly a rogue state.
You're not going to play the gotcha game, but you're not going to say you think Israel has a right to exist.
The truth of the matter is that these wildfires are happening more often because it's drier and hotter than it has been in the past. It's drier and hotter because we continue to rely on fossil fuels for our energy. We need to get to 100% renewable energy. Number one, put as much sand in the gears into what Donald Trump and his acolytes are doing. And number two, build the conversation with the American public that gets us to the after Trump foundation.
What do you tell those people about whether or not this is a pie in the sky dream that you're going around Michigan talking about?
Well, clearly I'm a different kind of Democrat.
The White House put that out, and I wanted to share that with everybody because this is a serious thing that we're seeing. It's 100% a serious thing what we are seeing with these Democrats full on in the United States of America. We're on the verge of absolutely having communism creep its way in. And once it creeps its way in, there's only one way to get rid of it. Let me give you an example, like cockroaches. Have you ever known for a home to just be infested with cockroaches? And you go and you get the can and you spray here and you spray there and you spray along the walls, et cetera, and the cockroaches just keep coming back. There's only one way to get rid of the cockroaches because when one comes in, they start laying eggs everywhere. That's the same thing that we're seeing right now with this communism. And I've said it last week, this communism is this whole thing with the Islamists, 100% through and through. Now, of course, our great producer, Eli, created this thumbnail because this is what we're talking about, the communists versus the socialism. Communism versus socialism. And a lot of people don't know. Because if you look at it, socialism always leads to communism throughout history. We've always seen this. I think everyone see this. And y'all see the picture there? Look at it. You got Bernie Sanders, AOC's, Mamdani, El Sayed. They're cheering on. And of course, Hassan Piker, they're cheering on what happened in 9/11. They're cheering it on. Let me ask y'all a question. Hussein Piker has a huge following. Is Hussein Piker on YouTube? Because I remember being on YouTube before, and if you said something that went against the left, some calling for violence or say such a violent act, they would suspend your account. They would demonetize you. So what about Hussein Piker? Is he still on YouTube? Why does Hussein Piker, when he said that the United States of America deserved what happened on 9/11, why is he still allowed to push this evil thing that took place on the United States of America? Why is he still allowed to do it? See, now we look at this, we say, well, it's freedom of speech, even though we don't like it, which I completely go with that. But those social media companies, when we were talking about when President Trump said that, told people to go home, talking about January 6th, President Trump never called for any violence. But people who were posting what President Trump actually said, their accounts were getting suspended. Because President Trump said, be peaceful, suspend that account. It was happening left and right. But when you say the opposite, when you say what Hussein Piker said, they're giving him a pass. So my question is, does he still have his monetization on his YouTube channel? Is his YouTube channel still up? I mean, because think about it. If it was you and I saying anything like that about the left, what would happen to us? Communism is a political and economic system that aims for for a classless society. They aim for a classless society. This is the system that the public owns the property, owns all property. Everybody owns everything. Well, who gets to determine who owns what at that point? Because some things are better, like a vehicle. Well, you get the Tesla, you don't. Who gets to decide that? The people. So what happens when we say, no, but how come they get the Tesla? How come I can't get it then? Just give it to me. Right? In this system, the public owns all property, factories, farms, money, and social class does not exist. And the people share the goods based on what they need. Based on what they need. So who gets to determine if you have too much? Because that has to come into place at some point. If everyone is saying, well, you only need X, Y, Z, and you only need this. Well, who gets to make that decision for everybody? Somebody has to make it. Because everybody as a collective say, well, I think, if you're going to get a Tesla, I want 2 Teslas. No, you can't get 2 Teslas. You don't even get a Tesla. Who gets to make that decision? See, with the socialist or the communist agenda, no one owns any property. There is no private property. The public and the community owns all of it. All of it. Karl Marx was a German writer who wrote the Communist Manifesto in 1884. Class struggles. Marx believed workers used by the rich. Workers, mind you. Now listen to this. Karl Marx, he says workers are used by the rich. And he was under the impression that the workers would rise up. The workers would rise up and fight against those who hired them and is paying them to do a job. That's what he was hoping for. So socialism is an economic and political system where the community or the government owns and controls the majority means of production. Now, let me ask y'all a question. What's the difference between the socialists and the communists? What is the difference? What is the difference? They're asking the question. What's the difference between communism and socialism? And AOC was asked that question, and I'm going to share that with you for those of you who haven't seen it. But they own the major means of production, like factories and the land. They own it all. You can't do X, Y, Z. You can't do anything. And their main goal is to share the wealth and to make goods for humans to use instead of private profit. They believe in shared ownership, meaning you work hard for it, then someone just come in and, well, you got to share it now. Property and tools used to make goods belong to the public, the workers, or the state. Now, I don't know why they can't see the problem with that. Because if you work hard for whatever it is that you have, Will Johnson or anybody else should not be able to come along and tell you, well, you know what? I don't think that you should have so much because I don't like the fact that I don't have as much as you do, and we need to take it away from you. That's the ideology. That's what they're trying to push here. It's the most disgusting thing ever. And I like saying that because it is. It's like so many disgusting things that the left is doing. Society works together as a team instead of letting people compete for profit. So what happens if you prevent people from competing for profit? What happens? No one's going to compete any longer. No one's going to be innovative any longer. No one's going to even try. Wealth and resources are split between the needs of all people. Doesn't it sound stupid to everybody? And as I just mentioned, if no one is competing for anything, no one's being innovative any longer. It's just truly the government. Well, look, we have this X amount and only a certain amount of you can get it. The rest of you just SOL. That is 100% what the socialists are doing. Now, what I just told you was things of both the socialist demon crap socialist party and communism. Where did you think I made the separation? Out of everything I just told you, could you tell where I was talking about communism and could you tell where I was talking about socialism? Can you tell the difference? Out of everything I just said for the last 4 to 5 minutes, can you tell the difference of everything that I just relayed to you between socialism and communism? No, they're pretty much one and the same. Everything I just told you was completely, if you go look, I went to AI and I typed in and said, give me the difference between the socialists and the communists, give me the difference. And then I say, what are the similarities? And it showed the similarities are the same as what they're saying the differences are. I mean, what is that? They are the same thing. They're 100% the same thing. But we're supposed to believe that they're different. Now, AOC was asked the question, communism, what's the difference between communism and socialism? Her honest answer should have been, there's really no difference. That's what she should have said. Now, the fact that he asked her this question, I'm pretty sure he was on the guessing that she didn't have a clue on what the difference is. But listen to what she had to say.
Wait, just a quick definitional thing. What, in your mind, is the difference between socialism and communism?
I think, to me, the fundamental differences, there's many.
Yeah.
One prevailing one is democracy. And I believe that democratic socialists are fundamentally pro-democracy. And we believe in the ballot box. We believe in respecting the outcomes of elections and governing democratically and ensuring that the ideas and policies that are implemented are won through popular vote and popular opinion. And so I think that's why so much of what we focus on is also making sure that we are providing for the majority of Americans, guaranteeing health care, raising wages, strengthening the right to a union. And I think that that's at its core what we're about.
But what's the difference? I mean, maybe it got lost in translation at some point, but the question was, what is the difference between communism and socialism? And again, I think she just basically should just came out and said that, well, you know what? There's really is no difference. There really is no difference. So we want to say what this is all about. Oh, sorry. Because I want to show this to you. So, of course, I went under AI and I said, what are the similarities? Now, everything I just told you before I played that video, I talked about what the differences are supposed to be between socialism and communism. And I guarantee everyone that was listening, you couldn't tell the difference. Like, where was the line drawn? Where was the line drawn at? Right? Where was the line? The similarities. Both reject pure capitalism, private ownership of a majority means of production in favor of collective or public control. Now, I just read all of these. I just said all of these to you. Take a screenshot. Make sure you take a screenshot of this. So then that way you can share this to everybody who's trying to say that socialism and communism are not the same. And again, AOC refused to answer the question. And this only took a little bit of effort to do this search, to look for this information. They are one and the same. I don't care what anybody says. Everything that they're talking about here, they're talking about pushing. Both criticize capitalism, inherently exploitative of the working class. Both are heavily influenced by Karl Marx, right? They're both heavily influenced. Both of them want to control the communities. Both of them say that the workers are being used by the owner of the business. Now, the workers aren't being forced to be there. You can always go someplace else to get a job. It's just the point, people. Their view on capitalism, their ownership, the economic approach. This is what their agenda is all about. This is what they're trying to push. This is what they want people to believe. This is the whole thing with this whole socialist agenda. And President Trump putting that beautiful video out there. It's really not beautiful, but for those of you that missed it, I played it at the very beginning of the show. So you need to go back to the beginning of the show on lfatv.com/LFATV. Okay. rumble.com/LFATV to make sure you see the beginning of it. President Trump put out a video about this whole socialist communist agenda and everything that they're saying. Now, I don't know if y'all heard this. Here in the state of Texas, they actually had a committee meeting and they passed it to where they can bring in this Islamist mosque. I can see where the frustration comes in with them passing it. It was 7 votes and all 7 of them voted for it to allow this Islamist mosque to be built here in the state of Texas. Now, I can understand why a lot of people saying, oh my goodness, this is absolutely terrible, terrible, terrible. The problem, and look, I'm so with it not being here. Let me be clear about my statement here. I'm so with them not creating these mosques here because they're not doing it. It's not benefiting humanity at all. That's my personal opinion about this. Okay, just to be clear. But if we start saying no to their religion, I hope y'all understand. I'm not supporting it. I'm a full-on Christian. I believe in Christ. Christ is my Lord and Savior. But we have a constitution, and our constitution says freedom of religion. My concern is that if we start saying no to these Satanists of having their mosque or whatever it is that they're going to build, how long after that will they come and tell us? Now, with that said, they're still going to come and tell us no. So maybe we should just said no in the first place. I'm saying no, but our Constitution says yes, regardless of the religion. These Satanist monsters popping up everywhere, and no one can stop them because of our Constitution. If they were to say, nope, you can't build it because your religion is not allowed in our country, then they're violating the Constitution. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. This evilness is coming. Its evilness is here. I put out a statement on social media just the other day, last week. And I hadn't seen anything about it, but I'm sitting there thinking about what's happening in Europe with the whole socialist Islamist takeover. Did you know that they've created Sharia courts in Europe? And if you have violated, this is what's been reported, if you violated their Sharia laws, you have to show up in their courts. Now listen to El Sayed. Listen to him here. He's acting like he's dumb why people would reject the Sharia law. And again, I've made this clear, Sharia law and the Constitution, they can't go hand in hand. There's no way that can go hand in hand.
Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Question 755. When the state of Oklahoma voted in a referendum to amend the Constitution to ban Sharia law, what does that mean? I don't know.
How does he not know what that means? That means Sharia law is not allowed in the United States of America and should not be allowed in the United States of America. We already have our own laws. It's called the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. We already have it. We don't need Sharia law. What is it that he doesn't understand? And of course, he's standing at the podium of a known, allegedly terrorist organization in the United States of America. Why is this happening?
And yet the voters banned it anyway. And I don't have to tell you that the same exact forces that drove native peoples from their land 2 centuries ago, destroyed Black Wall Street a century ago, bombed a building decades ago, and tried to ban Sharia law not a decade ago, those forces are alive and well today.
So what do you think he's talking about? Where do you think he's talking about? If they're able to set up Sharia courts in the United States of America and a woman violates it, she's going to have to go to the Sharia court because the people are allowing it. Now, I know, I get it. I'm with you. I hear you. Without even hearing you, I can hear you right now. Will Johnson, it's never going to happen. We're never going to allow it. Really? Have you not paid attention to New York? Have you not seen what's been going on in New York? I don't think people are really paying attention how desperate this situation really is. I don't think people are really paying attention to it at all. And it did not start with El Sayed. You know when I truly believe it started? With Barack Hussein Obama. Listen.
We are no longer a Christian nation.
We do not consider ourselves a Christian nation.
The United States has been enriched by Muslim Americans. Since our founding, American Muslims have enriched the United States. Islam has always been a part of America's story. There is a mosque in every state in our union, and over 1,200 mosques within our borders. Let there be no doubt, Islam is a part of America.
Do you need to see anything else? Do I need to show you more? Obama did not hide that he was for the Islamists. He didn't hide it. He was out and open with it. And all the white feminist liberals right now, they're all cheering it on. Most ignorant people on the planet. They're cheering this nonsense on. And all I'm doing is showing it to you. I'm showing you and reminding you what the agenda has been ever since Obama. And actually, it was before Obama. They just went ahead and brought Obama in, and Obama, he elevated and he escalated and took the charge on it. How come there hasn't been any videos? And y'all let me know. I got the chat up on the screen. Where are all the videos of Obama being asked a question about the DSA? Why not? Where are they at? Don't we want to know what Obama's viewpoint is on this? See, again, socialism, Islamists. He's not going to have any issues with it because this is what they want. This has been the agenda all along. And it's causing major disruption within inside of the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party, they've pretty much have lost control over it. Did you know that they're actually trying to elevate AOC and trying to lift her up to be the candidate for 2028? Because there's even videos of AOC coming out trying to say that she is not associated with the DSA nationally, but she's associated with the DSA in New York. What's the difference? It's like saying the BLM, saying, well, I'm not associated with BLM on a national level, but I'm associated with it in New York. What's the difference? It's still the DSA. And they're trying to make it a pass. Same thing with Husan Piker. Husan Piker says, oh, I'm sorry for saying that the United States of America deserved it, and even putting a picture up on his wall celebrating it. But he's now said that he's sorry. They were campaigning with the dude before they had dude campaigning with them, these politicians, El Sayed and the rest of them, campaigning with him before he came out. And I still haven't seen him say the apology. It's just, oh, he's apologized. He's really, where did he say he apologized? And of course, he's probably just saying, look, we want you to stay in our circle. We want you to continue to go on with us, but you're going to have to put out a statement saying that you apologize for saying it. As long as you say that you apologize for saying that you want the destruction of the United States of America, starting with New York on 9/11, then it'll be okay. Because then we can just say, he apologized. He apologized. Husan Piker is the role model of the Socialist Democrat Party. He is what they're wanting to get at. And you know what? He's full-on communist. He's a full-on communist. But not everybody in the Democrat Party is going along with it. As I mentioned, I talked about it last week, talked about the week before. There's many people starting to come out, even more so than John Fetterman. Now, there's a video of James Carville out of Arkansas. There's a video of him saying that, well, he now believes that not Husan Piker, but El Sayed is going to win in Michigan. And Husan Piker is laughing at James Carville, saying, oh, see, now he's starting to realize, now he's starting to see the light is coming to it, right? He's trying to get in our good graces now. Kind of sounds like he's saying it's too late. But TDS is still with James Carville. He can't help his TDS. So, of course, at some point, he's going to get in line with the socialists. There's even a video of AOC saying that, oh, yeah, we're winning. We're on the up and up. And let me remind y'all, this is just the primaries because they're going up against stupid Democrats. What about when they beat the rest of us? How many of us are going to support them? How many of you are going to support him? Is there anybody even contemplating, even entertaining the idea that you just might vote for a socialist? Is there anybody? I'm going to go on a whim and say no. We'll be right back.
Remember when you were younger and you used to hear stories, whether it be in Greek mythology or whatever, about the fountain of youth, people constantly looking for something out there that would help them live forever or live longer? Well, kind of got something like that with Fatty 15, and it's not mythological. No, Fatty 15, this is an empty jar right here, but that's your size that you get. That's a 1 month supply. You get a 3 month supply on this deal. Fatty 15 contains something called C15. If you don't know what that is, it's an essential fatty acid that is necessary for your body's cellular generation, meaning that if you have any damaged cells, it will repair them. It'll also change the way your cells age and you will live longer. C15 does exactly that. Again, if you don't know what C15 is, definitely do some research, but it's Fatty 15, and in each and every one of these capsules that you get in Fatty 15, you're going to elevate your cells, you are going to repair your cells, and you're going to live longer. That's what it does. It slows down your aging process for healthier hair, healthier skin, balanced metabolism, deeper sleep, and 3 times more cellular benefits than omega-3 fish oils. Fatty15.com/LFA, promo code LFA. Save 15% now. That's fatty15.com/LFA, promo code LFA. Thank you very much. Back to the program.
Yeah, do I have some things I'd like to talk to you, Abdul, about? Certainly. I want to talk about some of the language that he uses on the campaign trail. And I also want to speak to him about some of the surrogates that he uses that, are concerning to some people.
So, concerning to some people. She's talking about Husan Piker. He's concerning. He's concerning. Just like a good Democrat, they're going to end up caving. They're going to end up caving to everything Hassan Piker wants. And Hassan Piker wants a communist takeover of the United States of America. And Hassan Piker, his name alone, his first name. Now, Piker, I'm not sure the origins, but his first name is of Muslim origins. I went and looked it up. Hassan Piker. Hassan. And the thing is, he was born with that name. For all I know, for all intents and purposes, he's full-on Muslim. I don't know. That I didn't look up, but his first name is. I guess I should have looked that part up. Because he's pushing this Muslim agenda, this Islamist Muslim agenda. He's pushing it. And most people don't even recognize it. Most people won't even go, well, you know, it is what it is. But here's El Sayed, the one that they're talking about. The one that President Trump put out this video showing how radical this dude is. He doesn't have anything good for America. And he's exactly what the DSA wants.
You know, you face scrutiny for campaigning with socialist streamer Hassan Piker, who has made a series of inflammatory comments, as you well know, including saying America deserved 9/11, describing Hamas as a lesser evil than Israel. Do you plan to continue to campaign with Hassan Piker in the general election campaign?
Look, I'm less concerned now with who I'm campaigning with, a lot more concerned about who I'm campaigning to. We got a lot of work to do to continue to build the coalition that's going to beat Mike Rogers.
Would you welcome him, though? On the campaign trail with
Like I
you?
said, I'm a lot more focused on who I'm campaigning to. So I think we have this notion sometimes on shows like this that we cannot or should not talk to certain groups of people. And I'll tell you that the 3 million people who listen to Hassan are people I want to make sure understand that there's a pathway into our politics around.
Hold on. I gotta interject real quick because he's saying just because I'm associated with Hassan Piker shouldn't mean anything. Just because he wants to destroy the United States of America shouldn't mean anything. Well, remember when Nick Fuentes showed up at Mar-a-Lago? You remember that? They all had a hissy fit. They all lost their beep boop. They all lost it when Nick Fuentes showed up at Mar-a-Lago. But I don't ever recall Nick Fuentes saying that he wants to destroy the United States of America. Maybe that he has. I haven't heard it. Because if he did, I'm pretty sure the radical left would be pushing it constantly. Oh, look what he said. He wanted to destroy America, everybody. In this case, Hassan Piker is actually calling for that. And of course, he's making the excuse for it. And the radical leftist lunatic liberals, they all really have the same agenda. The problem that they have is that they're saying it out loud. It's not that the left doesn't want to destroy the United States of America, especially with President Trump in office. As long as President Trump is in the White House, they would rather burn the country to the ground. And again, let me mention it again. The only reason why the left has a problem with El Sayed, those that are saying something, because he's saying the quiet part out loud. They're wanting to destroy our way of life. And I just showed you the video for those of you that missed it, where he's actually wanting Sharia law in the United States of America. And it cannot coexist with the Constitution. So one of them will have to go. This November, you're going to decide which one stays and which one goes. Because we can't have both of them. You get to decide this November. If and this is one of my pet peeves about Republicans. Republicans typically don't vote in the midterms, and it disgusts me to no end. It is the biggest problem. Now, I'm hoping with this rise of socialism or communism, aka communism, that the Republicans will say this midterm, I'm not going to sit on the couch. I'm going to actually go out and vote. I don't think there's a lot of people out there that still don't understand the situation.
Getting money out of politics so we can keep money back in pockets and pass Medicare for all. And so I'm going to continue to have the conversations with those folks who we desperately need to reach out to, just like I'm going to continue to have conversations with seniors in senior homes, folks up north, folks in Detroit, folks in Grand Rapids. So again, I'm a lot more focused on who I'm campaigning to rather than who I might campaign with.
Oh, so it's okay. Long as Hassan Piker is there constantly talking about the destruction of America. I don't care what he says. I don't care because that's his beliefs. If it wasn't his beliefs, He'd be like, dude, I can't have you here saying that if that wasn't his belief. Is this really difficult for people to understand? Seriously, let me ask y'all the question. Is it really that difficult for people to understand that this dude here is actually on the same side of destroying the United States of America as Hassan Piker? Is it really difficult to understand? Anybody? Anybody? I'm looking in the comments. Anybody think, oh yeah, well, Johnson, I just don't understand. I don't understand. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Hassan Piker never said, this is what they'll probably end up saying when we get closer to November. There's no evidence that Hassan Piker has ever said such a thing. See, right now they're saying that, well, he apologized. Right? He apologized for it. But Will Johnson, there's no actual evidence that he's actually said such a thing. That is disinformation. I can see they do it like that every time. That's what they do. When the truth comes out, they'll give excuses for it, and then they give time for people to forget all about it, and then they'll come back to it and say that never happened. Like, what do you mean it never happened? Like Barack Hussein Obama never talking about Islam. Barack Hussein Obama, he never said that this nation wasn't a Christian nation. I just showed you the video. That's not AI. I remember when he said it. But if you come back and they come and say, well, he's never said that. Especially when you talk to the radical leftist lunatics on the streets of America, they never heard it. Why? Because they're so dumbed down. They only listen to what the liberal media tell them. And the liberal media will never tell them the truth because they always have this Islamic agenda. This whole socialist, and I'm going to say this again, I think it's worth repeating. This whole socialist communist agenda is the Islamic move. It really is. Prove me wrong. Show me where I'm wrong. I encourage you. Will Johnson, you got it wrong. Show me. Here's your opportunity. Show me. I got the comments on the screen, but yet they never do. Just like you can't say there's a difference between socialism and communism. They line up. They 100% line up. Well, not 100% because there's some differences, but for the most part, we'll say 99%. They line up. But as I mentioned, they're trying to float AOC for the 2028. They really are. They're trying to float her.
Another person who's been made an issue is Hassan Piker, who obviously endorsed Abdul al-Sayed in Michigan. You've been on his live stream, at least a few times. He's somebody who said, that America deserved 9/11. Now he backed off from that.
Yes, he's apologized.
But he said a lot.
Oh, he backed off from that. Yes. He apologized. He apologized for it. So we need to move on because Hassan Piker apologized. Yeah, he apologized. Dude, really? That's all it takes? Oh, he apologized for having the Nazi tattoo on his chest. He apologized for it. He apologized. He hates Trump, so it's okay. It's okay. Listen to her. He apologized. He apologized.
Somebody who said, that America deserved 9/11. Now he backed off from that.
Yes, he's apologized.
But he said a lot of controversial things. Is he somebody that should have a role in the progressive movement going forward?
Yes or no? Before you give this whole explanation, AOC, just give us a yes or no, and then give us your explanation on why. Okay, do that. Give us the explanation on why. Just yes or no first. Should he or should he not? What is she going to say?
I think when we look at our elections that have happened, we have lost young people. Much hay was made about the fact that we lost young men in the last election. And many of the same consultants that are wringing their hands today were the same ones talking about how we need to go on Joe Rogan and we need to be not so, willing to engage in cancel culture. And I think that the flip-flopping on this is a tactical debate that they may be having. I think the fact of the matter is that Democrats can go on Joe Rogan, Democrats can go on Fox News, Democrats have a responsibility to build a winning coalition, and young people.
Are we still talking about Hassan Piker here? Or are they talking about Democrats going on to conservative media outlets? Or on Joe Rogan? I mean, when did we change the channel here? The whole question was, should Hassan Piker still have the influence that he has on the Democrat Party? Yes or no? Yes or no?
People are engaging in mediums and conversations that we have a responsibility to attend to and be responsive to. Okay. And even right now, when we look at this insurgent wave of what is happening, oftentimes when people are doing that Monday morning quarterbacking and what demographics voted where, the big one that's being ignored is the generational tidal wave. Tsunami.
I mean, you see it in the polling. It's significant.
Millennials are not.
And he just let it slide on by. Just let it go. So essentially, if she's not going to say no, she's saying yes, he should remain there. Because his hatred for the country is what they want. His hatred for President Trump is what they want. They have a common denominator. Hate Trump, hate America, perfectly fine. AOC, and as I mentioned earlier, she's trying to distance herself from the National Democrat Socialist America Party. She's trying to distance herself from it. But she's still the same. She's the leader of it. How do you distance yourself from being the leader of it? It's like trying to say President Trump is trying to distance himself from being the leader of the United States of America, or he has no association with MAGA. The Hatch Act, he can't say that he's associated with MAGA. Really? MAGA is the Republican Party. MAGA is the Republican Party. Anyone disagree with that? Because MAGA wants the country to prosper. MAGA wants the United States of America to remain number one. MAGA puts America first, even though we still support our allies with stupid people. The woke right and the woke left can't comprehend that. We still support our allies, but we put America first. I live in America. I'm in Texas. Why would I not put my country first? Do I support our allies? Sure. As long as they don't go off the hinge and go against us, then hey, then we're all good. I think everybody else would agree with that. We'll be right back.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale, only $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free.
But as you know, I've been in this big tent party probably longer than most people, and I can tell you we're having the same kind of growing pains I saw on the Republican side, whether it was through the Tea Party in 2010, the activists who helped to bring about the MAGA movement.
And with all due respect.
Let me stop it really quick. I've been talking about this subject as well for the past 2 weeks, where they're trying to associate the socialist movement as the same as the MAGA party movement. And no, I just gave you a list right before we went to the break, how MAGA Republicans want everybody to prosper, even the people that disagree with us, the people that don't like us. Hey, look, if you're going to be successful in your business, by all means, be successful. I'm not mad at you. But the left, they have a different vision. Listen how Scott Jennings lays it out.
To my friend Donna, there's nothing like, you can't draw any equivalence between the Tea Party movement and the socialists. For one, the Tea Party folks weren't trying to bring about the downfall of Western civilization. and the United States of America. Abolish the police, abolish ICE, abolish borders, abolish the Senate, abolish the Constitution. There was nothing like this in the Republican Party. So it's an extreme political ideology that is gaining traction. The Democrat leadership has lost control. They know it. And people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Hong in Wisconsin, Abdul El Sayed in Michigan. You talk about the Big Tent. The Democrat Jewish Attorney General of Michigan cannot even go to her party's nominating convention because she says, I won't be safe there because of the supporters of Abdul El Sayed. You can't draw any equivalence between what happened in the Republican Party with the resurgence of patriot conservatives versus these anti-American radicals.
How many of y'all have heard about that? That these Democrats are not able to go to their own convention because they're not safe. What? And the history books later on are going to say that people couldn't go to the RNC because they did not feel safe. Oh, it was just a devastating time. They couldn't go. But the DNC is such a big tent. Everybody's welcome. No, they're not. I should have got the video. There's a lady, and I actually saved it, but I didn't get it. There's a lady saying that she went to the DNC and she couldn't even stay because she was fearful of her life because of all the Husan anti-American, anti-Jewish people that were there. These Islamists were there. She didn't feel safe, so she had to leave. There's ones that don't even go because, oh my goodness, because they're feeling threatened. Every single time that I've gone to a pro-American Trump rally, that has never happened to me. It's never happened to me. Even when people don't know who I am. It's never happened. Not a single time. Now, if I went in and I started acting stupid and I started doing stuff and I started pushing on people, start throwing stuff at people, I'm liable to get bounced. Rightfully so. Regardless of your complexion. The fact that the Democrats are still pushing Husan Piker as part of their whole thing now, I think is going to be their downfall. Listen to this dude, Harold, on the 5. Now, Harold, he's not as bad as Jessica. If anybody will ever watch the clips or anything, Jessica is the other resident liberal that comes on there, and she's totally bonkers. She's intelligent bonkers, though. I mean, but she's bonkers either way. But Harold, every now and then, he'll like the light bulb will come on. He was like, this is not going to be good. And this is the reason why I said earlier that the Democrat Party, they're in complete turmoil within inside of their party. And he lays it out clearly.
Democrats, I would say it's going to be hard for independents and even moderate Democrats like me to be enthusiastic for a Democrat who cannot say that Hassan Piker is wrong in talking about 9/11. I hate to give Republicans an angle here, but if we can't agree that America was in the right on 9/11, you shouldn't be in politics.
Yeah.
Amen. Okay.
How am I supposed to disagree with that? How am I supposed to disagree? And I'm pretty sure they're going to start calling him a sellout. Uncle Tom, everything you can think of. They're going to start calling him that. And I hope he does receive it. The only reason why I want him to receive it is because he'll start seeing for himself how evil and how hateful the left is. Because a lot of these people that are on the left that are, never experienced this stupid stuff from the left, they don't know any better. He's an intelligent man, but he doesn't know any better. He'll give excuses to him. But when it's just blatantly obvious like this, I mean, how do you look? I mean, how stupid can you be? AOC didn't say, well, he apologized, but she didn't say he was wrong for saying it either. She just said, he apologized. Well, can you say he was wrong? And should he be part of the party? She won't say he's wrong. And of course, she's saying he's part of the party. That's exactly what he's saying. Let me bring this up too, because this is another agenda by the left. You remember they brought in all these illegals. And of course, illegals can't vote. The Democrats will tell you all day long, illegals can't vote. It's against the law, Will Johnson. But they're finding a whole bunch of illegals that are registered to vote. Have they looked in California yet? I mean, really? Just go look at the driver license though. Every illegal that has a driver license, go see if they're registered or not, and holler back at me. But they're finding these illegals, and come to find out, allegedly, some of these illegals have been voting when they're not supposed to. But the Democrats are tight-lipped on that. Oh, we found the mistake. We solved it. We solved it. No, nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. We're the ones who found it. That's what the Democrats say. We're the ones who found it, not the Republicans. Really, because actually President Trump's administration been asking for these voter rolls. And instead of you giving them up, you say, oh, look what we found. So can we even really trust the numbers that they're giving us? It's probably twice, if not 3 times more the number that they're reporting to us. Well, here it's pretty bad, right? This is bad, but this is all you're going to get, because if you actually see the truth, then it's going to validate the reason why the federal government should come in and do the audit on our election system. They don't want that. So they just give a little bit to make it look like we're trying to fix it. But another issue, the SAVE Act. I don't care for John Thune. I don't care for any of these establishment rhinocrats, because John Thune is going to hand it over to the Democrats unless we, the people, we have to rise up for this November and make sure not a single Democrat win. We need to take the majority of the Senate to where they can just sneeze and the sneeze will pass. You understand what I'm saying? But of course, they want everyone to believe that the SAVE Act is a racist bill. It has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with you being an American citizen voting in the election system. Why is that so difficult to understand? And I'm tired of them trying to make it look like women are not competent enough to find a birth certificate or how to retrieve their birth certificate if they can't find it, to go along with their marriage certificate if they've been married. I'm sick of that. Women deserve more credit than that. Same thing with black people. According to them, black people are too dumb to find the DMV. Black people are too dumb to be able to get a driver's license to go to the liquor store, apparently, but they're not too dumb to go to the liquor store. But when it comes to voting, they're too dumb to do it. Why in the world would you want to fight against making sure that American citizens, because if it's only American citizens voting, and you say that majority of the American people want what the Democrat Socialist Party is pushing onto us, then why not go ahead and say, okay, fine. We're going to just make sure that all Americans vote, and we're going to show you, MAGA Republicans, that this is what the American people want. We're going to make sure, we're going to harden our election system to make sure that only Americans voting just to show you up. They don't do that. We're calling for that, but they don't want to do that. See, if it is just Americans, then we can't say anything. You know, that's what the majority of the people voted for. We can complain about it because we participated, but we can't. Okay, it is. That's our election system.
My hope is that we will push and really apply as much pressure to the U.S. Senate to do this work as they are pushing in terms of the SAVE Act to strip Americans and Black communities of their right to vote.
So now we're being stripped of our right to vote. How? I mean, minus the talking point, give us the how. Is she suggesting this because people will have to show their ID to vote? I mean, how? Give us the suggestion. How? I want to know. Right? Don't you want to know?
For certain is that El Said is making it easier. Why? Because he is inconsistent with Michiganders of either side of the aisle, by the way. Someone who wants to defund police, defund ICE, who wants to abolish our concept of a border. He's just wrong for Michigan. And
he's wrong for Michigan. Are there any Democrats that's right for America? Let me ask y'all that question. Are there any Democrats that are right for America? I mean, I guess you can say John Fetterman. right? Because John Fetterman, he'll talk common sense, but he still votes for it with the Democrats when it comes to a lot of things. It is what it is. But I think if more than half if all the Democrats were like John Fetterman, I think we would have a better functioning country. I'm just saying. I don't agree with John Fetterman on 90% of the stuff that he pushes, but when it comes down to a lot of common sense stuff, he's with that. To my understanding, John Fetterman don't think that men should be competing against girls. John Fetterman is all about supporting our allies. But what purpose or what benefit, or can we say that the Democrats, what do they bring to the table? That we can say, well, they bring this to the table. This is positive. This is good. What do they bring? All of the misery, all of the chaos, all of the stupidity that we have in the United States of America comes from the left. All of the insane stuff, the perversion, comes from the left. All of it comes from all of it. The violence. There's actually videos where the radical left, the socialists, are saying that if they don't get what they want, they're actually calling for violence. And they're saying, well, we want to get the masses to do it. Kind of like George Floyd. They're so wanting another episode like that. They're really trying. But see, I don't think it's going to happen again, because most people are not going to go out and hit the streets, because they're just going to, take it and believe it. There was another one that was started to get a little traction, and I forget what it was. That's how important it is. It started to get a little traction, and then it just fizzled away. So they're not going to be able to do that whole George Floyd 2.0. I mean, they're going to try. They've attempted. They're going to continue to try. And they'll probably get a little pockets here and there. But me personally, I don't think it's going to escalate like it did last time. I don't think so. Just like if they bring in another pandemic, I don't think it's going to escalate like it did last time, because most people are going to not buying it. Not going along with it this time. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. All right, everybody. Well, that's it for me. The time went by. The hour went by so fast. Hey, if you're watching on the LFA TV, make sure you stick around. And if you're not watching on LFA TV, go to rumble.com/LFA TV to watch LFA TV live all day long. And I'll see you right here tomorrow. Kevin Smith, Loud Majority, comes up next here on LFA TV. God bless everybody. See you tomorrow.